All right, folks, what is up? It's your boy, the Salty Vet, back with a DEI video. That's right, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So there's been a lot of talk about this, really for a couple of years now. And having the fairly unique perspective of growing up in a mostly white Caucasian town and then going to the military where it's like, the fucking United Nations in that place in boot camp. I think I've got a kind of a unique perspective. So let me just start off by saying this. If you and I are having a conversation and you start referring to people by their race, by their gender, by their sexual orientation, I'm going to fucking walk away. Because none of that stuff, unless it's germane to the story, which it almost never is, right? I don't care who somebody's fucking. I just don't. It doesn't affect my life one bit. And if it's not germane to the story that's being discussed or the issue that's being discussed, I feel like when people do that, they're virtue signaling. They're letting people know that I care that you're this. I don't. I do not care one bit. What I care about is your character. What I care about is your heart. Are you a good person? Yes or no? Can you do your job? Yes or no? That's where it ends for me. So I don't know, like I've tried to find research where DEI training, which by the way is a $3.4 billion industry. $3.4 billion companies spend to bring in third parties to train them how to be more open to diversity, right? What they're not telling you is this will happen organically. It'll happen all by itself. From the beginning of history, it has happened all by itself. Nobody needed any fucking training. You know what you have to do? Talk to somebody who looks different than you look, who worships different than you worship, who sounds different than you sound. That's it. It'll happen all by its fucking self. We don't need... Again, I feel like it's virtue signaling. Maybe, on a way smaller scale, let your HR person handle it. I get it. And I get there are racist people in the world. I'm not saying that. We all have bias to some degree. Every single person living through a myriad of channels. We all have bias. That's not the issue. The issue is when we whittle a human being down to what they look like or what their sexual preference is. That just makes me want to vomit, because you've stripped that person and put them in this box that, for me, that's all I'm going to think of every time I see that fucking person now. Rather than, are they a good engineer? That's all I give a shit about. If they're a mailman, can they get the shit in my mailbox? Do they, run on a schedule? Do they run on time? Do they, whatever. I am much more interested in a meritocracy. Because meritocracies don't care what you look like, as a general rule. Now, they're trying to force it into sports, which is the ultimate meritocracy, right? If you're good at your job, you play, and people come to pay money to watch you play. If you're not good at your job, and or the product you put on the field sucks, you don't play, and people won't pay to watch you play. It's a very simple process. So can we just stop with all this shit? Get off your goddamn phone and talk to somebody who looks different. That's it. The rest will take care of itself. I'm out.